Sitting outside on a Monday evening enjoying the beautiful sunset. We've got storms all around us, but here in West Jeff, Madison County where I live, real nice evening. I just want to take a minute to respond to the questions about the Trump and Epstein connections. And just make it clear, of course, if Trump were involved and were proven to have been involved with rape or child sex, I would no longer support him as president. I probably just wouldn't vote for anybody, because I'm not going to vote for any of these nuts running in the Democratic Party. But I haven't seen any evidence. I've had people send me things and say, here's proof, here's evidence. And it's really scary, folks, because it's not proof or evidence. I saw a video of the redhead lady who said when she was 13, she serviced a man, and then more than 15 years later saw Donald Trump on TV and said, that's him. It's 20 years after the fact before she says anything. I just don't buy it. And especially when there's no evidence, no records, no documents, and no legit eyewitnesses or anything like that. This is just the same thing we saw with Clarence Thomas in the 80s, and the same thing we saw with Brett Kavanaugh last year, as far as I'm concerned. Now, again, if there's any evidence, any proof, not just a video of some girl talking and becoming weepy, I mean evidence. And until you get that, according to Scripture, you should not be jumping on the bandwagon over gossip and hearsay. And this ought to concern every man and every parent or every grandparent, aunt and uncle, or anyone who has a son or a grandson or a nephew. And I guess it could happen to the ladies as well, that someone just has to tell a good story, and that means you're guilty. Hogwash. And as someone who's seen it, I've seen this. I've seen women weep and tell stories and either be totally exposed sometime later or come out and confess it later that they made the whole thing up. And one case that I have know of, I don't know the man personally, but he was a youth pastor, and he was taking kids home on a bus, and he didn't have another adult on the bus with him, which was unwise. And the young lady accused him of raping her. And he ended up going to prison. And his wife divorced him. And then the young lady, I think she was 15 when it happened, and when she's 18 years old, she comes out and admits she lied. So after more than 2 years in prison, this guy's let loose. And his life is destroyed, and there was no evidence. A jury convicted him based on a weepy young girl telling a story. It's got to stop. And I will not convict our president on these charges when there's no evidence. And shame on those of you suckers who so easily jump on the bandwagon whenever someone starts making these videos. These guys at True News, a bunch of Jew baiters trying to whip up everybody over this stuff. And I hope, I mean this sincerely, I hope those men and all the other people making these videos, including all the libtards, like that guy named Pac-Man, I don't wish this on them. It would be poetic justice if some women started jumping up and accusing them with no evidence, and they had to deal with this kind of thing. But I don't wish it on them. I think it's horrible. I don't think it should happen to anybody. And I certainly am not going to jump on the bandwagon against Donald Trump. So there's my answer. If there's proof, things will change. Until then, make America great again, 2020. I still support and pray for President Donald Trump, and love when he told those women to go back where they came from.